Great things do not just happen to people. Great things happen mainly to those who purposefully position themselves. So you are not going to have the kind of results you're supposed to have because you are a good person, because you are intelligent and things like that. You will have results to the degree to which you position yourself in life. One major way you position yourself very well for opportunities is in negotiations. Hello and welcome to this edition on Live Channel. It is my pleasure to welcome you again and to have you on this platform. Thank you always for joining us every time. I do not take it for granted. Today, by His grace, I'm going to share with you a very important lesson I learned many years ago. A man of God preached a message that stood with me over the years. I'm talking about more than 20 years ago. And he made a statement which I want to share with us today. And that's a statement that says that learn to negotiate at the position of strength. You've got to negotiate at the position of strength. The first point I want to make for us today is that many people fail because they do not know how to position themselves. And that is the truth. You see, you have to understand something about life, that things will come to you to the degree to which you position yourself. You have to know that. So if you are just living your life thinking that, okay, let me just be good and just live my life anyhow, without doing it consciously and deliberately, you are going to have issues in life. All right. Great things. Look at the second point I'm making now. Great things do not just happen to people. Great things happen mainly to those who purposefully position themselves. So it's not just important that you just do things anyhow. Great things happen to people who had purpose. They have purpose in their life and they now purposefully position themselves in order to get the purpose down. And that is the truth. The scripture is full of many examples like that, ranging from Zacchaeus, for instance. He positioned himself for the encounter they wanted to have with Jesus. And now, one major way you position yourself very well for opportunities is in negotiations. Just think about it. Okay, that when things happen to you, see, one thing you have to know about opportunities is that they don't just come black and white like that. They hide themselves. Okay, they hide themselves, they put themselves into some certain places that it will take someone that had been prepared, that is living ready, and that is able to go all the way for the opportunity to break open for them. And that is the truth. So you are not going to have the kind of results you're supposed to have because you are a good person, because you are intelligent and things like that. You will have results to the degree to which you position yourself in life, especially when it comes to this issue of negotiation. And I'm going to give you some examples that has to do with that, and then let you know the reason why I'm teaching what I'm sharing this one with us. Let's think about Paul, for instance. In the book of Acts chapter 25, you read from verse 10 to 11. This man said, I appeal to Caesar. They have been dragging him, you have done this, you have done that, and the rest of that. And at some point in time, he told them, you know what? I appeal to Caesar. Let me go and talk to somebody at the position of strength. Okay, a lot of times, people don't negotiate at all. People that negotiate, they negotiate at the weak points of life. That is why they are not having the result as they're supposed to have it. Go for the place of strength. Go and negotiate there. Go for the position of strength. Go and do something in that place. That is how you're going to win your war. That's going to win your battle. Paul said, no, you know what? I don't want to talk to people at this level again. I appealed to Caesar. Let me go and talk to him. I can negotiate my way from that position of strength. Second example, think about the case of Joseph. Okay, I like the story of Joseph of recent and it blessed me. If you look at it from Genesis chapter 41, verse 33, you know the story. He had already interpreted the dream. And then after then, shortly after interpreting the dream, he quickly gave Pharaoh the solution. That is negotiating at the position of strength. He was just being brought from the prison. People that are powerful can be powerful. He could have given that interpretation and they could have said, thank you, get him back to the prison. People can do that. All right. But the guy just looked at it and said, now, you know what? Let me quit these cities. He did not wait for them to push him back to prison and now find somebody that will help him go to tell Pharaoh and say, you know what? These are the solutions I think you should do. Right there and then, he provided solution. And he said, let me talk to you directly, Pharaoh. And guess what happened? When he did that, the man had his, had his counsel, and of course, he made him to be the second in command to him. That is negotiating at the position of strength. It wasn't looking for an intermediary to get that information across to Pharaoh. So let me talk to you first of all. That is negotiating at the position of strength. You have to understand how these things work. Remember the case of Abraham too in the book of Genesis chapter 18. The Lord has said, can I hide this thing I want to do without telling Abraham? Because I know he's going to command his children. And then God told them, I'm going to destroy this land, Sodom. And then the man started negotiating with God. What about if you have 100 people, will you destroy the place? And no. What about 50? What about 40? What about 30? Okay, talking to God. He removed the intermediary. Let me talk to the person that can help me here. Remove barrier, remove intermediary. Stop looking for someone that will help you negotiate. Stop looking for someone that can help you say what is your mind. Develop the confidence and start talking. Look for the right place. Look for the highest person in the in the highest rank. Look for the person at the highest rank. Talk to the person. You have to understand that. We will all see this if you are talking to the customer service, for instance, okay, and the customer rep is telling you, they say, okay, you know what, this particular bill, it shouldn't be there. Sorry, we are late. There's nothing we can do about that. Now, if you stop at that place, you are going to lose. But you must be wise enough to know, to say, you know what, I want to talk to the manager, the one in charge for today. You will see the story is going to change. If that person can't do anything about it, ask for another higher authority. There will always be an higher authority until you get to the last authority that will do something concerning your case. Stop giving in to the devil. The devil is not that powerful. Develop confidence to talk. That is the point I'm making for you today. Develop that confidence to talk. Negotiate at the position of strength, not at the position of weakness. And let me give us another example. Look at the book of Mark chapter 14. We have the story Jesus. He told, look at two of his disciples. He said, you know what? I want you to go into the city. As you are getting to the city, you're going to find a man that carried a pitcher of water. Now, this is the point. Now, look at verse 13 now. He said, and he sent two of his disciples and said to them, go into the city, and a man will meet you carrying a pitcher of water. He said, follow him. Look at verse 14. He said, wherever he goes in, say to the master of the house. He didn't say, talk to the guy that carry pitcher of water and be asking him what you want. Or you are just looking for the gate man to talk to. He said, say, listen to that instruction. Say to the master of the house. Don't say to any other person. Look for the person at the position of strength. Talk to him. The teacher says, where is the guest room in which I may eat the Passover with the disciples? Now, look at verse 15. It says, and then he will show you a large upper room, furnished and prepared. There, make ready for us. Verse 14. So his disciples went out and came into the city and found it just as he had said to them, and they prepared the Passover. In other words, when they got there, they talked to the master of the house, and the man gave them the permission. It is time for you to step up your game. 2026, I beg your pardon. Okay, step up the game. Ask for the person in charge. Ask for another person that is in charge, another authority, another authority. But now let me tell us this now. If you're going to talk to the people at the position of strength, you must be wise. And that's the point. Okay? You can't just get there and now talking perpendicularly, as I've always been saying. You can't just get to the place, get access to a position of strength now, and you'll not be strong. You cannot get to the higher authority and be talking gibberish there. Okay? Because a lot of people, by the time they get to highest place of life, there is nothing they're going to say. They don't have that strength. They don't have that, that wisdom, the ability to comport themselves, behave wisely, talk wisely. That's the problem of many people. And that's the one I want to share with you today. I hope it has blessed you. Okay, before you say nothing can, I've seen where they will say nothing can be done. Okay, that eventually a lot of things can be done because they are negotiating at their position of strength. You have to understand that, okay, because to every law, there is always an exemption, depending on who you are dealing with. So all I've said to you today is this. If you are dealing with a situation, go to the position of strength, that is with God, and go and negotiate from that area. You're going to see results. Okay? You are dealing with the devil and you are binding also demons and the rest. And go and bind the devil himself. Cast out the devil in your life. You're going to see those demons live in your life. That is how it works. Okay? Learn to understand, find out what is the strength here. Where is the place of strength here? And get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Don't let anybody intimidate you again. That's the point I'm making for you today. I hope you are blessed coming. Let me know how this word bless you. It's a simple word I brought again today. If you are going to live, you're not going to die. If you're going to live, you're going to have your visions and dreams coming to manifestation. Pay attention to this simple thing I've talked to you today. Learn to negotiate. Have the position of strength. All right, I hope this has blessed you. I look forward to seeing you next week again on this channel. Between now and then, go and become what you can be under God.